How do we grow this influence of black leaders, men and women, that can represent our industry inside the ANC, inside the policy-making structures?
Get to grips with the digital environment, put together best practices, what works and what doesn't, very importantly.
In the project that we're doing in Chatlash, we've created a linking bridge between those two little areas there. So it becomes a matter of just 10 minutes walk from one side to the other.
So my message to our CEOs and those chief investment officers is, where at the end of the day do you want to see your role?
So by treating all of our water back to a stage where we can bring it back into the process, we're in effect saving around about 35% of our water usage on site.
Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to greeneconomy.tv. My name is Gordon Brown, and today we're pursuing our series of discussing and looking into green building, specifically green building and green economy related technologies, solutions, products, and so forth. And so we're very pleased and indeed proud to have with us today the CEO and founder, J Coetzee of Green Worx Cleaning Solutions. We're going to introduce him in a moment. Before we do that, just a quick word from our sponsors. See you on the other side.
This show is brought to you by GBCSA's Positive Impact Magazine.
How clean are your hands really? Proper hand hygiene is crucial. That's why we created the innovative Biotech Foam Hand Soap, the first of its kind that changes color when you've washed your hands for long enough. What is the best method for hand washing? 1. Wet your hands with clean running water. Turn off the tap. 2. Lather your hands, fingers and nails with the foam soap. Immediately upon application, the bioenzyme non-pathogenic bacteria colonize the hands and prevent pathogenic bacteria, yeast and mold from multiplying. 3. Scrub for at least 20 seconds until the green foam turns white. 4. Rinse thoroughly under clean running water. Turn off the tap. 5. Dry your hands well using a clean towel or air dry. This bioenzyme cleanser creates a healthy, stable microflora on the skin, keeping it pathogen-free for up to 5 hours, far outperforming traditional disinfectant soaps.
Right, welcome back, and a great welcome to J Coetzee, founder and CEO of Green Worx Cleaning Solutions. John, we're going to be chatting about the advantages and some of the issues, if you like, around the decision and the practice of using cleaning materials and green cleaning materials in particular. Before we get started, may I ask you just to give us an introduction? Tell us a little bit about Green Worx Cleaning Solutions, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers, and thank you for the invite. Green Worx was established in 2007 as one of the first eco-friendly product manufacturers in South Africa, where we decided to include in our cleaning practice only products that are eco-certified through an organization that is known as Green Tag. It's an international organization and affiliated to the Green Building Council of South Africa as well. It's important to have green cleaning products, particularly in the green space that we are working in from a Green Building Council perspective. If a company that has decided to have a green building certified and they use green cleaning products for a certain period of time, they can score extra accreditations towards their next certification and gain a higher star rating. I come from a pharmaceutical background, and the area that I practiced in most was microbiology as well as antibiotics, which gave me a bit of an insight into the type of products or pathogens that we use within the cleaning preparations that we manufacture. We have been involved in this for a very long time. We are South Africa's most accredited company in this particular space, ranging from being ISO 14001, which is an environmental accreditation, to being members of the Green Building Council. A number of our products are SABS certified within the food arena, making our products food safe. All of our products are LOL certified, vegan certified, and there's just a whole host of accreditations. Over and above accreditations, we are South Africa's only company in this particular green cleaning products space. We have won 11 international sustainability awards in the past number of years, which we are very, very proud of, and that also then counts a lot for you, the user, or the potential person who wants to use a green cleaning product.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. And you've really touched on a number of key points there. You've spoken about third-party verification, third-party certification. You mentioned organizations like Green Tag, Green Building Council, both of whom issue eco labels and eco certification, one for products, the other one for buildings and so forth. You've mentioned the compliance to standards and the meeting of other kinds of standards. So really, these are what you're doing and what you're describing there really is the approach that all companies should take. And in many cases, your leading companies in these sectors are doing that. But not everybody does that. And some companies do pay lip service to going green. Why do you think that is?
I think the biggest problem with regard to lip service is the decision makers not really understanding certain elements of going green. Some people believe that going green are the big ticket items like solar power, wind power, green building approved bricks and cement. But what they miss is that the general basic thing of hygiene, or Maslow's hierarchy to needs, would be that you have to live a clean and hygienic life. And chemicals don't do that, particularly because they're made out of petrochemicals, which is derived from oil, which is not really a very eco-friendly substance, if you like, that can bring about a lot of harm to the environment. So if people want to really go green, they need to really do a little bit of research, or maybe speak to us. We can help them.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really, as you say, it's on the one hand, it's about understanding. On the other hand, it's perhaps a concern for, the cost. Very often there's this perception that going green is expensive. What do you say to that? I mean, is going green expensive, more expensive in your view?
Yes and no. It depends on who the organization is that is manufacturing and selling the product. We fortunately are in a different mold to most companies that operate within this space. We manufacture everything locally in our own factory. All the formulations are decided upon us and invented in our own factory with our technical staff, which we have a number of technical people that have got master's degrees in biotechnology and in enzyme technology, which most companies don't have. So if one looks at maybe just say a cleaning product, for instance, that is a concentrate where you would be able to dilute this product many times over and be able to achieve basic cleaning and hygiene objectives, which everybody would like to have. It compares very favorably to petrochemically based or conventional cleaning products, but it's not necessarily more expensive. A general cleaning product in the industrial environment could be as little as 73 cents a liter. You cannot make that type of product from a conventional cleaning or chemical-based raw material, for that matter.
Mm. Mm. So yeah, I mean, so you touched on it a little bit earlier about, just some of the other reasons why, or let's say things that might slow down or inhibit people from going green. We've spoken about the price, but it's also the inconvenience or the sense of complexity. And of course, in many cases, it is quite complex, and it starts with green buildings. Certainly, it starts with architectural design and goes from there. But what is the very smallest, simplest thing that every single building can do to start going green?
I think, in my opinion, it is to clean it. It's a no-brainer that every building needs to be clean, needs to be hygienic. By being that, they are looking after the building in itself, they're looking after the visitors to the building, and they're looking after the staff that actually work or live in that building. So that is the simplest thing to do. You would save a lot of money by doing so, because I'll give you an example. An average household of 4 people living in a house of 250 square meters, which is like your middle income type of person in South Africa, they use between 7 and 11 different cleaning products that they pack into their trolley when they go up and down the aisles of your local supermarket. And that they will be spending anywhere between 700 and 1,200 Rand a month on doing that. You can reduce these 7 or to 11 products down to 5 products to clean an entire household for about 350 Rand a month. Just imagine what you can do with saving.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that makes a lot of sense. So tell me, we've spoken now, we've touched on it. Your company is called Green Worx Cleaning Solutions. We've touched on this point about cleaning your building in a green way using green cleaning products. But what exactly is a green cleaning product, an eco-friendly cleaning product? How would you define that, and how do you know that it is in fact green?
Very interesting question, and I think which could be misconstrued by a lot of people. The best way to identify a green cleaning product is to look for an accreditation, such as EDGE, which is from the Green Building Council, or Green Tag, which is an independent third-party accreditation agency that looks at every single ingredient that you have within your formulation to see whether it is environmentally friendly, non-harmful to man, animal, and the environment. And and if you want to go even further than that by looking at conventional products, most people do, or most large organizations do list their ingredients. You can go and Google the ingredients to see what the impact is. The World Health Organization has a lot to say about it. The American Environmental Protection Agency is very vocal on that. Unfortunately, in South Africa, we don't have a lot of legislation, or any legislation for that matter, on cleaning products. We don't even actually have to list the ingredients on our products because there's no legislation for that. But the international companies that are predominantly in your retail space within supermarkets, they fortunately do have the listing of the ingredients, and you can go and Google to see whether those are safe for man or bad for the environment or good for animals. It will give you a very fair indication. Unfortunately, it is a little bit of homework that you would have to go and do, but it is very self-explanatory.
Mm. Yeah, that's very interesting, and yeah, I mean, I think there's always a fine line between what government regulates and what industry does in terms of self-regulation. But this whole issue of passing off and greenwashing is really a big part of that, and that's really, I guess, part of the issue that we're discussing right now. But that's another thing. Of course, we've spoken about labels, and you've mentioned a few labels. There's sometimes these labels can be confusing to the consumer. For example, a new point, it's not really new, but something that's come through is this idea of biodegradable. So my question to you is are eco-friendly cleaning products and biodegradable cleaning products the same thing?
Yes and no. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Most things in life are biodegradable within a certain period of time, but not all products are eco-friendly. So I'll give you an example. If you have a bleach within your product, it does not necessarily make it eco-friendly, but it does make it fairly harmful to the environment. So one needs to exercise caution there and look at what the impact is, and the literature on the internet and anywhere that you can find information will actually stipulate and tell you exactly what is good, what is bad, what is indifferent. But also, to go back to the label again, a lot of labels are misleading at the end of the day. Some have very pretty pictures of dolphins and fish and sunshine and flowers, but that does not necessarily mean that the product is eco-friendly or biodegradable for that matter. It's misleading. They would have words like product is biodegradable. Yes, it is biodegradable. Your motor car is biodegradable, but it'll take 10,000 years for it to biodegrade. So is it eco-friendly or not? One needs to go and do the homework, otherwise you can be easily misled. Yeah,
so people are using these types of terms deliberately to create the sense that a product's green when it isn't, and that maybe get down to the true heart of the matter, and that's talking about those ingredients. So you've spoken about it. You mentioned that in the retail sector now, it's certainly you can find out what these ingredients are, and certainly I'm guessing when you engage your bigger commercial customers in the property business, this might be a key topic for discussion. But which chemical ingredients should one really try and avoid?
There are a number of them. I'll just touch on a few. Are you familiar with what a surfactant is? If you're not, allow me to explain. It's the soapy bit within your cleaning product that makes the foam and allows you to clean something. Now, not all surfactants are eco-friendly. You get plant-based and you get petrochemically based. Petrochemically based are not eco-friendly, plant-based are. Now, a label will often state that it is a plant-based surfactant or a cleaning product. A lot of fragrances are not eco-friendly. A lot of colorants are not eco-friendly because fragrances and colorants have a multitude of different raw materials within it to make it up. So one needs to be very, very careful. If one looks at saying a food or a colorant that is food grade, you can rest assured that it is eco-friendly because man can actually absorb it, and man can actually eat and drink it. Whereas on our side, for instance, we would use things called bacteria. I'm very reluctant to use the word bacteria because it normally puts the heebie-jeebies in people. But the bacteria is closely related and family of probiotics. Their function in life is really to eat dirt. And that is putting it very mildly, put it that way, so that we can say that it degrades organic waste. Well, that's a mouthful, but most people won't really understand that. Technically speaking, they release certain enzymes which breaks down the dirt or the organic, and then the bacteria just eats up the dirt and converts that into water and CO2, which chemicals can't do. So these type of products you can eat and drink. You find these type of products in your local yogurt. You find it in lipstick. You find it in beer. We shall not mention beer because of the bottle stores, but anyway, these are really, really very friendly. Most of your certified eco-friendly products you can actually consume. They don't taste well. They will give you an upset tummy because of the soapy bits and so on, but not everyone is going to actually eat a soap bar or a cleaning product. But that just goes to show that, yes, they are very, very safe, and they are sound to use, and they won't burn your hands or burn your eyes because they are highly toxic chemicals or bad for the environment chemicals. That is basically the difference between the two. Whereas I'll give you another example, a surfactant made out of petrochemicals. Basically what they do is that they are designed to actually melt dirt, and then you take your little cloth and you spread it evenly all over the table. Whereas if you use the eco-friendly product with a probiotic in it, you do basically the same, because the surfactant is plant-based. It will also melt the dirt, and you will also take your little lappy and you will spread it evenly over the table, but you're also spreading the probiotic evenly over the table. That consumes the dirt, so nothing is left over. I hope that answered.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, and one can perhaps just summarize. I mean, so the key things, if you're looking at a label, let's say you're in a store, you're having a conversation with a customer, and the customer's trying to just get a key sense of what it should really be avoiding there. What you're saying is just avoid the surfactants, because most of them are likely to be made from toxic substances. And you're saying, just be wary around antibacterials, because there's actually probiotics. So perhaps what you're saying is you should look out for cleaning probiotics, because they actually have a very positive effect. And then finally, it's a case of avoiding chemicals that are going to have a negative effect on the environment. Is that a good summary?
Very, very much so. I will add actually two additional things: bad for the environment, bad for man, and bad for animals. So
right,
those three important factors within any family's life or in any work environment.
No, great. And then you look, it might seem obvious perhaps to some that we've now spoken about the negatives, what to avoid, but possibly what be quite enlightening is actually to say to you, what are the key advantages, right? So people often behave or change behavior because they want to, because they see the advantage of doing something rather than, for fear of avoiding something. So how would you express the key advantages of switching to and ensuring you use eco-friendly cleaning products?
I think the main advantages really at the end of the day are that it's healthy, it's hygienic, it will give you a clean environment, one that is toxic free, one that does not have serious vapors that can burn your eyes or bring about a asthma attack. One refers to those as VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, which is the vapor that comes off the cleaning product. You won't find those in your eco-friendly certified products. The main thing really at the end of the day is, if it does not have an accreditation that it is eco-friendly certified, stay away from it, because you don't really know what you're getting.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such an important issue nowadays. I mean, more than ever. I mean, we are literally sanitizing our hands multiple times a day, more so than before. We're sanitizing our surfaces. obviously because of the obvious reason of dealing with COVID and the risk of spreading that. We're trying to kill bacteria and viruses wherever we go. We actually run the risk of creating a fairly unhealthy, toxic environment if we're not using the right products, right?
Very, very much so. You're not only killing the bad bacteria, but you're killing the good bacteria, like what the probiotics are. So you're leaving a very sterile environment that is open to more infection, more problems. So you're actually digging a hole for yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. And talk about the benefits perhaps, of this type of sound environmental management for business owners. I mean, surely there's some massive advantages for them, right?
Very, very much so. You will be creating a clean, hygienic environment that is good for the visitor to the business, for the staff, for the members that work there. But not only that, the way that the probiotics work and what they can actually benefit people is, like, for instance, even in a school, you will actually, and it's very well documented, that these probiotic type of cleaning products actually will enhance the retention value of a student having to learn something. The same will be within an organization where your retention value will be increased and your positive attitude towards your work will be highly enhanced as well.
Yeah, so you're talking about improvements in productivity, improvements in the general health of the environment. Really affects people's happiness. Affects how they feel. It affects how many sick days they take, and so people perhaps are oblivious to the fact that a simple decision like ensuring that you're using these eco-friendly cleaning materials can have this massive effect. And yet, as we've pointed out, it's a fairly straightforward decision, which exists really quite low down on the value chain when one considers, all the various impacts and the complexity of the impact of various decisions. But tell me, so perhaps just talk a little bit more. We've touched on the issue of productivity. We've touched previously on the issue of price. We've said, look, these products are not necessarily more expensive. In many cases, they actually are more affordable, especially if you mix them correctly and you use your concentrations correctly. And ultimately, that also creates happy people, creates a good vibe in that company. It means that those people are going to be just more service orientated in the way that they engage with their own customers, and ultimately these things are good for business, right?
They're not only just good for business, but if you advocate this from a business perspective, you could actually draw in more customers that are more eco orientated or more sustainability orientated, and that is good for business because that's what you want. Shareholders are now demanding that people or businesses actually go green or become more sustainable, and that adds value to the company as well.
Yeah, and I guess what's important is for people to include these types of decisions in their sustainability reports and in their applications for various accreditations, and it becomes a sort of a necessary, obvious tick box in all of these frameworks that the question, well, are you using eco-friendly cleaning materials in your building, in your factory, in your company? And it should become ultimately an obvious check item for all of these companies. But talking about that and talking about the drivers, why people should do it, and we've touched on all the advantages and so forth. You've also touched on the issue of regulation. In your view, should government be looking at this? Should government start looking at making it compulsory to use these types of products, or perhaps ban the use of certain other products that are harmful to health and the environment?
Yes, very, very much so. But I think it goes one step further, is that to go and regulate all of that would take a month of Sundays. However, if government can actually bring about something where they make it compulsory for every single company that manufactures a similar type of product, or whether it be an eco-friendly product or a non-eco-friendly product, is to actually list every single ingredient that is made, that the product is manufactured of. That is a very, very good start. There are a number of products that are not good for the environment. I'll give you an example of something that people know, like mothballs, for instance. That's made out of a chemical that is considered carcinogenic. That's not illegal in this country, but it is banned in many other countries. They make products such as mothballs, and the same ingredient is used for certain deodorant blocks or bricks, for that matter, that are there to mask bad smells. You don't want to mask bad smells. You want to eradicate bad smells, because that is what the probiotics can do. They go and devour the molecules that create the bad smells. So that would be a very good start.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense, and there's many of examples of where things that are harmful to health are in fact banned. So as you say, declare what's inside it as a good start, and then possibly look at some of the really bad stuff and maybe ban that. But so John, look, it's been a great conversation with you. I've learned a lot about eco-friendly cleaning products and the advantages and the needs to use them and so forth. That's all the time we have available today. We could chat about this conversation for the rest of the day, but that's all we have time for now. Just before we play out, I'd just like to ask you just to finally give us, it's probably in your ad, but I want you to just give us your website. How do people get hold of you? If they want more information, they want to learn more, what's the best way to get in touch?
The easiest way to get in touch is to either phone. We are a Johannesburg-based company, so the prefix is 011. The number is 7086626. You can email me directly. That's also on our ad. John at Green, and this becomes a bit complicated, but it's green-worxcs.co.za. So it's Green-Worx. The CS is for Cleaning Solutions. It was the easiest way of doing it. Or go and Google us, Greenworx. It will come up on the first page. We're quite good at that. So it's www.green-worxcs.co.za.
What a pleasure. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. That's all from me, Gordon Brown. Thanks again to my guest, J Coetzee. Check him out, go to his website, get in touch, learn more. John, have a lovely afternoon, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
This show is brought to you by GBCSA's Positive Impact Magazine.
How clean are your hands really? Proper hand hygiene is crucial. That's why we created the innovative Biotech Foam Hand Soap, the first of its kind that changes color when you've washed your hands for long enough. What is the best method for hand washing? 1. Wet your hands with clean running water. Turn off the tap. 2. Lather your hands, fingers and nails with the foam soap. Immediately upon application, the bioenzyme non-pathogenic bacteria colonize the hands and prevent pathogenic bacteria, yeast and mold from multiplying. 3. Scrub for at least 20 seconds until the green foam turns white. 4. Rinse thoroughly under clean running water. Turn off the tap. 5. Dry your hands well using a clean towel or air dry. This bioenzyme cleanser creates a healthy, stable microflora on the skin, keeping it pathogen-free for up to 5 hours, far outperforming traditional disinfectant soaps.